Another candy gingerbread lollipop video. For those of you who have already seen the Jolly Rancher one, which was just uploaded yesterday, this one is going to be made out of Skittles, and they're bigger. Check it out. This is my gingerbread man mold, and I'm going to do all these colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. Delicious. And to turn it into a lollipop, you're going to need sticks. I found this at our local Party City store, and that's it. So let's get started. I'm going to start with red because, you know, it's Christmas and red is just so delicious. So this is from the original Skittles, which is strawberry. As we can see on the package here, strawberry. Some people might think it's cherry, but it's even better. It's strawberry. Is to cover everything that the candies are going to touch in oil so it doesn't stick. So this is my teeny tiny cutting board that I cut out from a larger one, and I'm going to coat the gingerbread man mold in oil as well. And you guys, if you don't do this, you'll notice that your candy sticks like crazy. So it's okay to use lots of oil, as it will slip out quite a bit easier. Okay, we're all ready to melt our Skittles. So I have 50 Skittles in here, you guys, and I microwaved it for 25 to 30 seconds. Now, they're not totally melted, they're just warm enough that when I put them in, I'm able to crush them and they'll collapse down into sort of like a mushy goo. So they are still hot, so just be careful. And the mold that I'm using is metal, so again, you want to make sure that you're careful with whatever you're using, that you don't burn yourself. If you require parental supervision, make sure that you guys have that prior to starting this activity. So the fun part now is to crush all these teeny tiny Skittles into our gingerbread man mold. Because the candy is hot, you want to make sure that you use something that won't burn your fingers, so I just have this plastic spoon that is small enough to reach into the little corners of his hands and feet. And I'm going to crush those Skittles. So you want to make sure you get all of them, and they will squish down pretty easily. At this point, you can see I'm touching them, so they're not that hot anymore. And there will come a point where you can just use your fingers and smush it in. And this part, you guys, really is fun, because you can sort of feel the Skittles exploding in your fingers. Okay, so depending on how warm it is, or if you've stuck it in the fridge, just make sure you guys are super careful taking it out, as this is only candy and it can get pretty wobbly. So evenly pushing at the hands and the feet and the head, because you don't want to break it and you don't want to make it all wavy and wobbly. Ah, there it goes because of all the oil. So perfect, it didn't stick. Look at that side, that looks delicious. So you guys, in order to stick the stick in, I experimented with many different things, and I figured a nail, which I of course washed, was the best object, because it's kind of the same circumference and it's super pointy. So check it out, it's super easy to put in your Skittles gingerbread man lollipop. So again, if you want to, you can just sort of readjust the shape if it gets squashed a little bit. And there is our first lollipop. So now I'm going to stick it in the fridge or freezer. As the stick is in, everything's good to go. And the good thing about it being a little bit colder, you guys, is that when we put the icing on, the icing is going to stick a little bit better. So I am so happy with how this turned out, and let's decorate it into a little gingerbread man. So like I said, this has already been in the fridge, I believe I did, not the freezer. And I think I only left it in there for about 5 minutes, as these candies do get hard pretty quickly. And to be festive, I'm going to add green buttons. So good. So again, this took about 50 Skittles, so depending on your mold, give or take, and obviously you can make it thinner or thicker. You can have so much fun with it, you guys. Moving on to orange. Delicious, delicious orange. So again, this is from the original Skittles package, and there's our orange. So carrying on with the same steps, and let's see how this one turns out. On to our yellow lemon. And now our delicious green apple. So this is after I put it in the fridge, so just remember that you probably do want to put it in the fridge for about a minute after you crush it all down. But if you put it in there too long, you guys, it's going to be too hard to put the stick in. So that's why it's important that you just kind of stand around, wait about 1 minute, and then take it out. So it's hard enough to push out of the mold, but not too hard that you can still put the stick in. Once the stick is in, you can put it back in the fridge and harden it prior to your icing. And again, the good thing about this is that obviously the stick will stay in better, but the icing gets a little bit hard once it hits the Skittles. And just remember, the stick, you do have to put pretty high because these are pretty heavy gingerbread man lollipops because it's full of Skittles. So you want to make sure that the stick is nice and high up, or else it might just fall right off. Moving on to blue, and for all of those people that are thinking blue's not part of the original Skittles, these are from the tropical edition. So I believe this is pineapple or something crazy like that. Let's see what it says. Pineapple, passion fruit, so yummy. Our last flavor for today is the delicious grape. One little tip, you guys, when you're creating the hole, make sure that you go nice and slow, and you can even check from the other side. You want to make sure that you don't puncture the other side. So you want to make sure that you go nice and straight through the Skittles to ensure that the stick doesn't, again, puncture the Skittles, and then everything just falls apart, and that would be no good. Here we have all of our 6 little gingerbread people completely made out of Skittles. Now, if you guys haven't checked out our Jolly Rancher one, make sure you guys do so, and I'd love to hear which one you prefer. Do you like the small Jolly Rancher ones, or do you like the big Skittle ones? And of course, always let me know what your favorite flavor is. And make sure that you guys subscribe